good afternoon, and welcome back to another episode of CTL Speaks. This is your co-host Aubin and
And other
Chandler.
co-host Seth.
Seth, you forgot you're not just here. You're the co-host technically, I suppose. That's what all the branding says, at least.
Yeah, well, we just haven't gotten around to change that yet.
Right. Right. So, welcome back to another episode of CTL Speaks. We're here with the cast. Well, not all of us, but the majority or most. You know what I'm trying to say. We have people from.
Three of the cast members from Cabaret. Wow. Never
Hey,
mind. I
thanks,
can't retire yet.
thanks, co-host, for taking over the lead there. We have with us tonight three members of the cast and the director, and I guess four technically members of Cabaret here. We have Abby Simon, Myas Nemo, and Tyler Marvin here with us. How's everybody doing today?
Fab. So fab on this Sunday.
So fab on this Sunday. Love to hear it. So, pretty okay. Pretty okay is better than most of us, I think. Abby, how you doing over there?
Oh, just wonderful.
Is it the rain? Is that what it is? Is the rain just bringing everybody's energy down?
It makes me really sleepy. Like I just want to take a nap.
Well, I mean, in about 45 minutes, you are more than welcome to do that.
I'm going to have to apologize already. My dog just chose now to eat. So you'll hear that.
It's a nice background,
throughout. Sorry.
So we're here. We are here to talk about Cabaret and all that there is to it. So why don't you guys actually introduce yourselves, tell us who you are, what parts you're playing, and then we'll get started with the conversation. Whoever wants to begin.
I guess I'll start.
There we go.
Alphabetical order. I don't know. I'm Abby Simon. I am playing the MC.
I'm Myas Nemo, and I'm playing Sally Bowles.
And I am Tyler Marvin, and I am playing Clifford Bradshaw. Or Cliff, whichever you prefer.
Whichever is easier to remember.
Probably Cliff.
What? Oh, Baby Gale? How do we pronounce that, Taylor? What's
Baby Gale.
Oh, there it is.
Lisa.
Aubin, who are you playing?
Oh, I guess I am in the show, aren't I? So I'm Aubin, and I am playing Herman, I think. And then Seth, who are you playing?
No one, thank God. No, I have the honor to direct this one, so it's been fun already.
All right. Well, Mr. Director, why don't you just let the audience know? I know we talked about this on the previous episode, but why don't you just let the audience know if they're new to Cabaret, if they're new to CTL, kind of what we are expecting in this show that is Cabaret. See, there's nothing funny about Herman. I shouldn't have laughed. What a tragic. So can you just tell us about the show? Tell us about your expectations and kind of how this is a little bit different from the last time that Cabaret was done at CTL and just different in general for the audience.
Yeah, so we are really excited. We're producing the 1998 version of Cabaret. Candor and Ebbs, I believe, second collaboration for CTL within the last couple of years. And we actually have produced Cabaret in the past. We produced Cabaret in the early 2010s. And we did the original production when we produced it then. So we are doing the revival. So that's right off the bat a little different. There are different songs, slightly different plot points, slightly different character developments, especially around Cliff and his sexuality. Not to give anything away. It's a little bit closer to the original source material of Isherwood's Goodbye to Berlin, which we plan to dive into once we start some blocking and character work with these three and the rest of the Kit Kat Club members. So it's really exciting to bring this show to life right now. CTL, the last couple of years, has really embraced the philosophy of theater with a purpose and theater for a reason. And this one is definitely something that has a couple good reminders in for everyone to kind of take home and think about. as they leave the theater. So as we were going through with the daytime staff and thinking about design and thinking about theatrical elements that we wanted to put into the show, I really liked the thought of, as audience members were coming in, they were immediately kind of transported to a different place and to a different time, and a little like Cliff is when he goes into the Kit Kat Club for the first time, disoriented and not really sure where they are. So we're really excited to literally be flipping CTL stage. You'll enter the theater through the back alley, not off of 3rd Street, but you'll still park in the parking garage, come across 3rd Street, and then you'll actually enter the theater right through the back door, right through the stage door entrance, and you'll be right on the stage. And from there, it kind of, the design at least, took off. So we knew we wanted to obtain a liquor license like we have for past shows. So we'll have a functioning bar for Thursday night, Friday night, and Saturday night shows. We'll have general admission seating right on the floor, kind of right in the action of all of the Kit Kat dancers and all of the action of the plot. And then we'll have our normal seating on our left and right sides for any patrons that want to be up kind of a little bit elevated and past, but still part very much so of the production. We have a cast of 6 wait staff who will be all throughout the theater, taking drink orders during the show, delivering drinks during the show, and kind of making sure everyone is feeling as involved and immersed into the production as possible. So it's really exciting. We kind of wanted to make sure that this production stayed as realistic as possible so that people kind of really left with the lessons that are learned throughout the show as they went home for the night. So, and I think with the cast that we've assembled and the production team that we have on hand, it really will be something quite special and unique, which I'm looking forward to.
Yeah, and so what do you think in all of this planning and preparation that you're doing to flip the theater and to do all of this? What was the scariest thing for you? If there was something, I'm sure it couldn't have just all worked out perfectly at first. But when it went from like kind of this bizarre idea to, okay, we're actually going to do this and make it happen, what give us your thoughts?
Yeah, so part of the redesign and the flipping of the stage is a performance space, or what we're calling a stage proper, will actually be built and is built already on top of the center seating. So there's where a third of the audience usually sits for a CTL production. There is a stage that has been built over top of those seats. And so I think that's when it kind of, Jerry Gold, our brilliant scenic director, just kind of took that idea and went, okay, we'll do it. And he made it happen. And there's the stage and the runway is already constructed, and we're using it for choreography rehearsals. And it's got to feel weird, especially because you three have all been on it. Tyler, you really haven't ventured on it yet. But Aubin and Abby and Maya, you've all kind of danced on this platforming where there usually is not platforming, and you're looking at CTL completely differently. So I think that was when it hit me of, oh, this is happening, and this is what we're doing. And Phil Haney, our technical director, and Jerry, like I said, Jerry Gold, our scenic director, have been really great, and they're, I think, excited about the opportunities. Phil has to do a completely new kind of setup for where he's at. So we're kind of embracing this this whole design, which is really kind of fun.
Yeah, and I want to continue on in that vein and that thought process. So for Abby and Maya, just Tyler, as Seth said, you haven't really ventured on the stage too much, but through the choreo rehearsals and things, like, how has it been different for you? I know, like, for myself, it's interesting, and I'm so thankful that I have prescription glasses for the time period. I've never cared that much about seeing on stage. I usually don't wear glasses on stage anyway and just perform the whole show blind. But for this one in particular, I'm so glad I got my metal glasses to be able to see where I'm going, because yeah, it's just interesting. So Abby and Maya, talk about how it's been for you already in our short time of rehearsals, flipping things and kind of getting that into your bodies.
Yeah, I mean, I just got done doing a show on our typical stage with Aubin, Newsies, and so going from literally one day to the next day, flipping the stage around and having something completely different different has
Yeah.
been an adventure. I've never really gotten to dance on a stage in like the way our stage is, so it's really unique and it's really been a lot of fun to navigate. I definitely will be getting contacts for the show, so I can. So I'm on board with that one, Aubin. But it's different. It's really cool, but it's definitely different.
Yeah, for me, with this being like a bigger dance show, the last thing that I expected was a stage to be 4 feet wide, which is a challenge in itself. There's one point where we, not to give much away, but we're dancing on a chair. And me being 5'2", normally that then makes me like 8 feet tall and only like 2 feet around me. So you get a little like caterpillar legs where they just turn to jello, but a fun challenge.
Yeah, and then on top of that, again, not to give too much away from the choreo, we've got a lift where we're going from one platform to another, and it's like
Right.
lifts, and I've been in shows with you, Maya, where you've done lifts before, and you're super comfortable doing lifts all over the place. Who cares? Throw her up in the air, whatever. But like, it had to have been an extra added tension knowing that instead of just being 4 feet off the ground, now we're 8 feet off the ground and being lifted and going from one level to the next.
Right.
That's like, it's a whole new level of just, I think for the audience and just watching everything happen is going to be an entirely new level of shock and awe, and just I think they're going to walk away and just be really thrilled about what they've been through, which is great, which is what.
Well, if I can jump in real quick. So if we think about that, just that, like the height alone was twofold. One, because we have about 60 patrons on the floor, we needed to make sure that everyone could see all of the important action, right? So that's just logistically, you have to be higher. And two, from a design element, we wanted to make sure that when anyone's performing, Sally, MC, Fritzy, anyone that's performing at this Kit Kat Club should feel larger than life, and should feel kind of as big of personalities as possible. So to try to help with that, we kind of gave the actors this setup that they are inches away from audience members at points, even more like you thought CTL was intimate. This takes it to a whole nother level, and they're very powerful up there when those girls are doing the Mind Hair dance that Kizzy Gula choreographed really brilliantly. It's really impressive. It's very impressive. So I'm excited to see. We're just, like I said, we're jumping into blocking next week, or tomorrow. So I'm excited to see how the story comes alive like the dances have.
Yeah, agreed. So Tyler, we haven't heard much from you, so let's just jump right in with you. What has it been like? And this is your first lead character role with CTL. Am I correct in saying that?
That is very correct.
And so, as this is kind of a daunting show, and it's just there's a lot going on, and it's a lot of new on top of the fact that this is new for you. Can you talk us through just when you picked up the script for the first time? What was your approach in learning Cliff and making kind of Tyler and Cliff make sense for you? And then talk about like if there were any nerves or anything. I know we haven't really started blocking yet, and so you haven't really been through the rehearsal process, but kind of expected nerves that you're feeling or anything like that.
I think the biggest part of the process so far is I haven't watched Cabaret, so I'm going into this with a blank slate. I am looking at the script, seeing what the stage direction says, what possible interactions there are, like reading in between the lines as much as possible so I can flesh out this character and every interaction I can as much as possible. In terms of nerves, I've done shows with a lot of dialogue before. I was just in Spamalot earlier this year. That's a lot of dialogue, but the potential physical intimacy on stage, that's a new one. Well, I'm not entirely worried about that, but it is new. So potential nerves, but like, it is what it is.
Yeah. Okay. So, and then kind of on the opposite end of the spectrum, thank you, Tyler. We have Abby, who's done Cabaret before. So, Abby, can you talk to us about like your experiences and what you're expecting, and from your first time doing cabaret to, I don't know, I feel like you've done it multiple times. I could just be making that up. But talk to us about your experiences through cabaret and how excited you are, how you feel about being able to be the MC in this production.
Yeah. So the first time I did cabaret was 2017. I played the baby, Helga. And it was so much fun as a person that's Jewish. The show has a very deep meaning without giving anything away. It's very hard and beautiful to watch as somebody who is Jewish. And the first time I did this show, my step grandfather, who fought in World War II, passed the opening night. So I have a really special connection with this show, and it's so being able to play the MC. It's a dream I never knew I had come true. I never even thought about a woman playing the MC, let alone that woman being me. So I'm just so beyond grateful and so excited to be doing this and bringing something different and new to this role. Like, I'm beyond grateful and super stoked.
You're doing a great job. We'll just say that now. And Maya, we'll get to you in a second. But I want to talk to Seth for just a second and see, so casting the show, and because the MC traditionally is not played by a woman, talk to us about your vision there, and kind of how that came to life. If you don't have to talk a whole lot.
No. So production staff, even before auditions, we really wanted the MC to be a spirit and to be a living embodiment of welcoming and then flipping that and seeing the spiral throughout the show. So when the casting went out there, we were very open to any identification, auditioning for anything. We were excited and kind of opened the doors for that. Throughout the blocking process and throughout our work between Abby and I, we're going to make some choices on exactly the person that she's playing, and what they identify as and what is their story. But really, I mean, our MC is not traditional because it is a woman, and it's not a Joel Gray copy, and it's not an Alan Cumming copy. Just like Tyler and Maya's Cliff and Sally's aren't carbon copies of anything you'll see, because I think that's boring. I think that people can watch the Liza version if they love that. They can go on YouTube right now and find plenty of 1998 renditions of Cabaret out there. What excites me is how does Abby, and all her Abbiness, and what can she bring to the MC that we might not have ever seen before. And that's exciting. And I think that as a person, not necessarily as a woman, not necessarily as someone of Jewish descent, not necessarily someone who has this crazy range that can sing all the male stuff, but also then flip it up. But what does Abby's persona and what does Abby's light look like when it's shining through the MC? And that's what I'm really excited for. It was funny because as we're sitting around the table as a production staff talking about the types that we want for each role, we always wanted the MC was always kind of a they. We needed someone that could hook you in with a smirk, who could let you in on the secret that you didn't know, that could get you to play along even if you didn't want to, and then make it seem like it was your idea. It was all of these characterizations that had nothing to do with male or female. And there's nothing really even in the book that alludes one way or another. She has lines. They have lines in Two Ladies and in other scenes. But really, those are cabaret songs performed for an audience. So we never get anything hard and fast for this MC character ever. And I'm really excited to kind of flesh that out with Abby and kind of figure out who is this master of ceremonies? What is their real role in the show? Because we know what's been done before, and we know the metaphor of Germany. We get that because we've seen it. But how can the MC help our production? And that's what I'm really excited for. What ceremony are they leading? So we'll see. Yeah, it'll be exciting. I think I answered the question. I don't know.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, absolutely, you did a great job. So, and now we'll jump over to Maya. So Maya, and because we've talked a lot about this in years prior, but cabaret has always been for you the one that got away. And so, what has this been like for you in this journey and getting to be Sally Bowles on stage, and kind of your anticipation and excitement for this production?
So dream role always has been a dream role for a couple reasons. Sally in her character and me are more similar than I first thought. The more I'm going through the script and the more I'm reading through it, I'm like, oh my gosh, I'm playing myself in 1920s, 1930s, you know. Of course, it's very exciting, but it's also, you know, there's parts of Sally that have to feel real to get the point across. And with that, that's a challenge in itself of, okay, how do I get to the part of me as an actress to be able to convey that? So there's a big weight there, but it's something that I'm super excited about. Dance wise, I'm a dancer first, and she's a big dancer in this place. But then also that Sally's an alto, and very rarely in musical theater there's alto leads. So that's, if I could sing the male part, I would sing the male part. So this is super exciting, that dance in my range, something I can relate to easily. And then also the message that she carries is something that's important to me as well. So excited.
So this is kind of a general question for everybody if anyone wants to take a stab at it. But this is a simple one. What is the one thing that excites you the most about doing cabaret for you, the individual?
I guess I'll sort of reiterate what I said before. I'm so excited to be doing this again, and I want to prove to my family and to everyone that, like, I can do this, and I want to do this for my step-grandfather who fought and died during this. Like, this show is so important to me. So it's so exciting for me personally to be doing that for all of those reasons, to just like be able to prove to myself that I can do this too.
Well, Abby, you're going to do a great job, and you already are. Taylor, Taylor? Can you
He's
please
upstairs.
Can you get her a tissue? Taylor.
She probably should have gone like last in that
Yeah,
answer, because now you're gonna get like
tissues.
I'm really excited to sing cabaret.
No,
I'm sorry. You don't beat Abby's answer.
He's here.
And
so everyone's aware he came down.
Also, while you're at it.
Hi.
Hi, Tay.
How's it going?
Okay, nice. We didn't invite you to sit down, but okay.
No, you're just supposed to.
I was told to come down. I was asked where I was. I'm sorry.
Nice flannel.
Matching.
Oh, yeah. The instructions. Okay. Hi, Taylor.
Hi, family. I'm sorry.
It's just a cameo. He just won the award for best cameo.
He'll win a streamy for this.
He just creepishly snuck back up the stairs, so he's gone.
All right, Abby, Tyler, Seth.
You mean Maya, Tyler?
What did I say? Did I say Abby again?
Yeah.
Sorry, Maya.
What was the question? I forgot and all that.
I know. Everybody wipe your tears. Everybody take a second. Take a deep breath. What is the one thing that excites you the most about doing this production?
How are we supposed to answer that after Abby? Jeez. Because my answer is I love a gritty show. It's a great gritty show with a great message. And for community theater to be doing that is exciting. And that, I really feel that we are going to do it right. And, I'm casted with these people who I call my safe people on stage, like Tyler and I always ensemble or supporting. And when you have that little bit on stage where you like give the side eye or interact for a second, it's always Tyler for me. Abby being one of my best girlfriends, it makes it also exciting. We're doing this great, gritty, heavy show, but I'm with all my safe people on stage as well. So pumped. Great.
And my response is something along those lines as well. Like, the only heavy show I've done before this was Cuckoo's Nest, and I wasn't a necessarily integral role in that, but now I'm a lead in this heavy show, again with people I trust that I have a lot of experience with. So it's really a prime opportunity to delve into a heavy show, a heavy format with people who I'm comfortable around, who I trust. So it's kind of the best opportunity to do that, and I'm excited for that.
I think I'm excited. I think those three answers are kind of perfect because there's a lot of heart in this cast. And there's also, it's 22 really, really good storytellers. Like there's everyone in the cast you could sit next to. Now that Logan is 21, congratulations, Logan. You could sit down next to any of these cast members at a bar and they would tell you either a really great story or they make up a really great story just to kill the time. Like, it's 22 people who you can really have a good time with, that really enjoy just performing. Like, just, I get a line in a scene, I'll do it. I'm in. Yeah, I'll do it. I'll help the story because I feel like that's important. Everyone takes great pride in those, and that's what I really like. And I'm really excited for, because that's just only going to make good theater. So yeah.
Good answer. I guess it's my turn, since I guess I am a part.
He was fixing something. He wasn't even paying attention.
So my ring light is on, and it's super bright, and it's staring, like I'm looking right at it. So I'm trying to change the color of it, but I barely use this thing, so I don't remember how to do it. So I was very distracted, but I'm sure whatever you said was great.
Let me rephrase that. 21 really great storytellers.
I think that was a great. That was a great story that I just told about my ring light. But I think actually the remote was broken, which is why
we lost viewers.
Anyway, actually we're up by 3 now since the last time.
Thank God for the ring light. You fixed it.
So I am excited. Again, just like everyone has kind of said already, to work with some of my favorite people in the world again. I get to work with my squad, my wife and Cheney, my best friend, and his wife Ruby. So getting to do a show with the squad is always a good time. We just did that in Newsies, and so we're back to back. But again, Tyler, Maya, and I have been in several shows together, and it's just been those people. And Abby and I have done a couple shows now together. So it's just like the people that I enjoy being around the most. And then there's Seth, I guess. And I know I'm excited for Seth to be able to do this from the directorial standpoint, because I know what he's capable of, and I've seen what he's been able to do with the heavy shows. We just did one last season. So it's just ragtime. You forgetting that it was a thing. So it's just it's exciting to see what he's going to be able to do, and I appreciate Seth as a director the most is just his vision and like what he sees about characters. And so like that's cool. So I'm excited to see that. And Seth, this is your lesson on taking flowers. Just say okay. Just say thank you.
I didn't say anything. That's better than what I usually do.
Your face said it all, and that's okay.
Yeah, but the listeners later on won't see that. Only that small Facebook.
I'll never say anything nice. Every time I say something nice about Seth, it always just. Okay. Anyway, let's move on and let's just have a little light conversation. Actually, we're going to take a quick break to hear from our sponsor, Anchor, and we will be right back. Seth?
And we're back.
We're back. Welcome
What
back.
a great break.
Thank you so much to Anchor for sponsoring this podcast.
Fix that in post. It'll be great.
We are going to end today's episode on a lighter note because I think we've done a lot of heaviness. Abby's made us cry a little bit.
Over? We're done? We're done? That's it?
Well, unless you want
We
to
all
bring
changed out of our pajama tops for this.
I did not.
I did not either.
I changed from my Eagles jersey because it was freezing in here. But go Birds, we did get a win.
Yeah, you won by 3. Okay, all 4 of you. This is my question.
Oh.
What is your, from when CTL announces a show through closing of the show that you got cast in, what is your favorite part? What's your favorite moment? One moment. Like mine happened, I'm taking mine. Mine happened on Thursday. It's the read through. Because usually it's everyone in one room. We get to kind of talk about big picture stuff. Everyone's in a good mood because usually you got food before. That's my favorite moment because it feels most like a community at that point, which I love. Tyler, you start because we've gone with Abby and Maya first too many times.
Fair. I think my favorite moment, which it varies when it occurs, it happened a lot of times in Cuckoo's Nest, but sometimes it happens during the read-through, sometimes not until a show. It's the moment when you make a character choice and whatever that choice is, it works. It is received very well, whether it's by castmates, whether it's by the production staff, whether it's by an audience at the read-through, whenever. You make a choice, it works, it pays off, and there's that feeling of elation of, oh, wow, that worked. That was a risk, paid off. I'm going to do that every single time now.
Maya?
For me, it is opening night when we're all backstage waiting for our first entrance and the on-track starts. And that rush of nervousness, excitement. Usually everybody back there, like the level of energy goes from here to 5,000 once that music starts. And that feeling there for me is usually the first tinge of like after you're casted and everything that I get nervous, but everybody around you is so excited that it's fine. And it's going to be fine. You know that everything's going to go well. That first 10 seconds of when that starts, that's the best feeling.
Abby?
I agree with Maya, but I'll say something different. I also really love the moment we have costumes, lights, mics, music, just everything finally merges together and it all becomes very real. And it for me, it's a moment of this is truly, truly happening. And this right now, you don't have an audience, so it's okay if you screw something up, but this is like your time. And yeah, I love that day when everything finally like just comes together.
Costume day up there too.
A Missy Black costume day.
A Missy Black costume day.
Yes.
We have great costumers. Tara Deljonovan, Andre, Judy, Missy Black. I mean, CTL's really fortunate. And costume day is always it's a good one. Obs.
I have 2 different answers. I'll go with this one because it hasn't been said. But for me, having gone like in high school performing, we did everything with a live orchestra, and so then Rent. We didn't have a live orchestra for Rent, did we, Seth?
We did.
We did. It's been so long. I sincerely forget almost everything about that production. And then a lot of shows at CTL we don't have with an orchestra, but there are those few that we do get a chance to perform with the orchestra. So my favorite moment of any production ever is when we have an orchestra. Sitz Probe. The Sitz Probe is my absolute favorite part about being in a production with an orchestra. For those who don't know, the Sitzprobe is the first. It's basically a sit and sing. So it's the first day we're introduced with the orchestra. You've rehearsed with tracks or with whatever, just a piano for the entire rehearsal process. And then we get the first day with the orchestra, and it's usually a mess and it's usually crazy because the conductor has to deal with all the pieces of the orchestra, but they also are working with us who have never performed live with an orchestra. So there's just, to me, there is no better feeling in the world than performing with an orchestra. And so getting that Sitzprobe day for me is top tier. It is my high point. Other than that, I would agree with Abby that the day of costumes and mics is, you just feel your character really become your character because you get to really step into their shoes and whatever costume that might be. When you walk into a rehearsal room and you're in sweatpants and a t-shirt, you're the character, but you don't have the same feeling. I mean, obviously you get to tap into some of that, but I think you put those pants on, you put that suit jacket on, you put whatever the costume is, or for some shows, whatever you take off, whatever your costume is, you really start to become your character. And I think that feeling as an actor is really great, to really feel like everything you've done matters because you are now that character. You've just become every kind of way. You know what I mean?
Well, I think it's really great because I think the work that the cast has been in rehearsals now for about 3 weeks, learning dances with Kizzy, and learning. I mean, the music is learned. Like, you guys know your stuff, and I think there's already such a great foundation. Like, you kind of saw it to read through when you all were singing, of like character work that Marissa Hickey, the music director, has already done with a lot of you in terms of what does this song have to do and where do we go and how do we present this song, that we're already at a certain level. And once we get this flow of the show going, and then once we get costuming, and even sometimes once you get like a certain light on you, you're like, oh, Phil's doing this in blues. Huh. And like the whole scene changes. Like, I mean, Abby, you and I shared a lot of scenes in Young Frankenstein, and there were a couple things that we were like,
What?
That's 12 lines that we have no idea what we're doing with. And then like you get into tech and you're like, oh, we can work with that. So I mean, it's just all of these pieces that come together. That's really great.
I think that's another great moment actually in theater, just as an actor, and it's just like those we've all been in productions or been a part of productions that you just like at some point really question, is this going to work? Like there's like are the choices that we're making really the ones that we should be making? Is the audience going to understand what we're doing? Is the story going to get told? And then inevitably, I've never been in a show where the story wasn't told at the end. And so I just appreciate that moment where it's like all of a sudden you have a hellacious rehearsal and everything just seems to be falling apart and no one is happy and everyone is mad at each other and everybody just walks out quietly. And then you come into the next rehearsal, it's a new day and it just works. And that is a feeling like no other also.
I mean, you got to talk about something?
No, absolutely. We can talk about it off camera.
Okay.
It's no processing needed. It's okay. I promise we're fine. Everything is great.
Great. And I mean, Kristen Perez just popped up there. I mean, the amazing stage management team. We got Paul Young and Kristen Perez, which is just awesome. And Wendy Durant is coming behind the bar as our bar manager. So I mean, we just have a great team.
All right. Any other questions from anyone? Anyone in the audience who is watching have any questions?
Oh, you've never done that. Have we done that before? Lisa, now's your chance.
First episode I threw one up in there, but
Taylor, anything? Lisa?
Taylor.
He's gonna Taylor laughing through.
He's gonna run downstairs again and ask the question live. But Taylor will do it in a German accent. And it'll just
Taylor would have done this entire interview.
He speaks like that at home, just like on a regular basis.
I was gonna ask if he does that.
Yes.
It's like, Abby, will you pass the tissue, please?
He sings random songs in his German accent. He talks like everyday conversations in his German accent. It's weird.
Oh.
It's great.
Yes, she does.
Yes.
We love the cast parties with Lisa. This is
Lisa throws the best cast parties I've ever
Absolutely.
been to. Ever.
Lisa Sinemo,
She's already planning the tablescape.
which I know now what that is.
Hilarious. Kristen, that's a great question. Kristen Perez asks how you were learning your accent. So that's actually a great question that I probably should have thought about. Kristen should have been on this episode. From a dialect.
Next week, just
next
all
time.
of the actual management.
I had that idea, but I didn't ever make it happen. Okay, so for everyone and for Seth, because this show is set in Germany, you know, you were dealing with a lot, like, and in Willkommen, the first song of the show, you know, we have German and we have French and we have things in English. And so, what is the balance for your character? I mean, Tyler, you're in an American accent. Cliff is
Congratulations,
from
Tyler.
so you don't really have to
Really lucked out on that one.
You know, you're an hour and a half away, so if you really want to hear how Harrisburgians talk, I just go take a drive.
Although I mean, we are going to play with. I mean, Tyler and I did post about this, and we talked a little bit about it. Like Tyler, we do want to go for like there's going to be a Mid-Atlantic tinge to everything, just to put us back in that 1930s world, because it's not Harrisburg now; it's Harrisburg 1930s.
It's true. That is true. And so,
just a century difference, you know.
Literally nothing's changed.
And on that note, and so what has it been like for you discovering the accents and dialects, and well, we'll talk about that. We'll just let it go from there.
For me, so I'm from London. My character is from London. For most theater people, a British accent just comes naturally. For me, it does not. This is something I'm struggling with so hard. So whenever I'm with Abby, I'm just like, bam, bam, bam. And Abby will correct every syllable. So that is how I'm learning my accent. She'll be like, no, not accent through your nose, Maya. And I'm like, I can't do it. But we'll get there. Abby just beat it into me.
I don't know. For me, it comes naturally a lot of the time. Like accents, I'll hear it once or twice and I can sort of figure it out. It's a weird thing I've always been able to do most of the time. But this show is really weird because I speak in about 10 different languages throughout this thing. Most of the time, my character has a German accent when I'm just outright speaking. But it's definitely been a challenge to like. German is a hard one because they have such like deep inflections. But when I speak Hebrew in my like regular life, they also have a lot of those ones. They're just placed differently. Mm-hmm. So yeah, it's this is a more difficult one, but it's really fun. And it's really just a hope and a prayer that it comes out.
Great.
I am so thankful. Like, I have to obviously learn an accent for the songs, but all of my lines are not a German accent. They're just in German. And so I don't have to think about an accent because I literally just have to learn the language, which as a Spanish teacher is different and weird because, like, as Abby said, and maybe Hebrew and German share some characteristics, German and Spanish have almost none. It's a completely different way of looking at sound and language, but thank God for all of my linguistics classes in college, because I think I've also been lucky enough to just be able to kind of hear things and repeat them and regurgitate them. I did have my German teacher, thank you, shout out to Carla Ferry, the German teacher at Schickling High School, who I gave a layout of all of my lines, and she provided me with a phonetic transcription of those things. And I'm actually probably going to take my IPA, the International Phonetic Alphabet, super nerdy language stuff, and literally transcribe all of my lines into IPA to really see if I can get the sounds right, because somehow that makes it easier for me. but that's just because I'm a really big language nerd. So,
Well, and how lucky did we get, like, Marissa's little cheat sheet. Marissa Hickey put it
Yeah.
on that's great for all of the singing. Like, one, there's your vocals and your songs, and then we happen to cast Nancy Butts, who is a fluent German speaker,
Mhm.
who was working with Ruby already on the song "Married" with all her pronunciation, and Tim Heilman, who also speaks fluent German. So like the two of them, like Schultz and Schneider, have already started just talking to each other in German during like rehearsals, which doesn't make me feel left out at all. But it's great. So we have all of these great resources, and we have the vast resource of the internet, that I'm really excited that everyone is already not afraid to start trying, which is really cool. Like you all like, yeah, it's nerve-wracking. And I did this big old post on the Facebook group, like we can't fix accents if you're just like not doing one. So the fact that everyone's already trying one, like Maya has some notes tomorrow when we talk for the first time about her accent. And we're gonna tweak it. And Abby and Ty, like everyone already, like there's already ways to grow. So it's not like we're 2 weeks from the show going, oh yeah, we're in Germany. Everyone, let's YouTube something and try to figure it out. Like we're already kind of organically trusting each other and making sure that we're trying to do everything justice. Because like, I mean, like Abby talked about, like, and I talked a little bit about the read through, like this is very real events in a non-fiction way. Like, I mean, we have to be very honest and truthful in the story that we're telling, as much as you can with something that's fictionalized. So, honoring the language of the people of Germany is important, and making sure we're not just making a mockery of something. So, it's important.
Yeah, and it's a daunting
Except
task.
with the heavy like periods in there. Transition out of that.
Well, it is, but it is important, and because we are telling a story about people who really existed and a time period that really existed, and stories that were real, and people that, you know what I mean, and those feelings, and they have to feel real, and so it is a task to tackle the proper dialect and the proper inflections, because we don't want to, as much as we are trying to personify these people, we don't want to make them caricatures, if that makes sense. You know, we want them to be characters, but for those characters to look and feel real, as opposed to some type of farcical look at the character. So it's an important and very daunting task for sure.
Yeah.
Any other questions for the audience, or from the audience, or for anyone that is here before we transition to our last segment? Seth, you don't have to. You've already answered them 65 times. You don't have to.
Okay, great.
There's a new one though, so you can answer the new one. Okay. With that being said, let's transition to our final segment. This is my favorite time of the episode. We are moving on to Fast Five.
I
Okay,
need a theme song.
Seth.
Fast Five.
It will be done in the next hour. Once we finish this, that'll be all I'm thinking about. And so for the rest of the night, that's what did you get my snap when I got an idea for, I'm teaching geography to my students, and so I got this random thought about the countries and capitals, and I literally was driving, I got inspiration and started writing the music for the song, and now it's done, and it has a whole music video and everything. So Fast Five music will be on the next episode that we have. So just be prepared.
I've done this once before, and it was never put out.
The episode that never
the podcast. So
the episode that never existed.
I have no idea. What episode was that?
Yeah, no idea.
Hmm.
No idea what that could have been. All right, here we go. So this is Fast Five. These are 5 questions, and Tyler, Abby, and Maya, your goal is simply to answer them as best as you can. There is no judgment. This is a safe space. So whatever you answer, and what the critics do from there, I can't help you. Okay, first one, we start with an easy one, or at least I think it's an easy one. What is your favorite musical?
The Hunchback of Notre Dame.
That is a new answer. Haven't heard that one yet.
Good one.
Shame.
Mine's a toss-up between ones
No.
and 35 millimeter.
One's a song cycle and one's an actual show. Jeez Louise. Come on, Maya.
Top of my head, Bear the Pop Opera.
Oh,
Yeah, for real.
Wow, is
All
that
right.
a one girl that I just saw from you said? That was adorable.
I made the face. Maya made the voice. For everyone listening later as a podcast, that noise didn't come from me.
I genuinely thought that was from you. And
No, it was. I didn't make a noise.
I think we're clipping it. I think I'm gonna have to clip
I
that
think
one.
that might have been you,
CTL
Seth.
Facebook
And you'll
page.
play
Just-
it back. You'll see my mouth did not match.
We're gonna find out. We'll answer that question for sure.
Good answer, Abby. That's a good answer. I've heard of that show.
Great
Okay,
one.
good answers all around. Seth, has yours changed? Is it Titanic? Is that still?
Yeah, Titanic's up there. Hold on, I'll ask Marissa. Do I have a new favorite musical, or have I been talking about a musical
Diana?
recently? She goes Cabaret. Diana is creeping up there, but not my favorite. Yeah. Okay. Thank you for your participation.
All right. Next question. Question number 2.
Wrap
What
it
is?
up. Oh, I
remember-
just got to wrap it up from my wife.
We're done. I tried to finish 15 minutes ago, and Seth thought that it was too early, so that's his fault. What is, in your opinion? Remember, this is just your opinion, and that's okay. The most overrated musical, in your opinion, most overrated. Tyler looks like he's ready.
Cats.
6.
Annie.
Those were quick. They're getting faster every episode.
Good answers. Hot takes,
All
but
good.
good answers.
All good answers.
What
Now,
did the redhead do to you ever? Annie, really?
she's had a hard knock life. It's okay. Moving on.
Ooh, go ahead.
What is, in your opinion, on the flip side, the most underrated musical?
Kinky Boots.
Underrated?
Me.
Kinky Boots?
It's so good.
Did you just say swim meet?
I said skip me.
Skip.
My answer would be my favorite musical, Bear.
No, Big Fish. That's super underrated. Big
yes,
Fish is
good
a
one.
great show.
Yes.
High schools out there do Big Fish.
All right. Next one. What is your dream role in a musical?
My turn. Skip me.
Oh,
Oh,
I don't know that one. Who's that?
I've got a lot of them.
well, mine's like a cop-out answer. It's Sally in Cabaret. So
Well, sometimes we get to live out our dreams. That's okay.
I would kill to play Jenna in Waitress, I think.
ooh,
Yeah.
ooh.
pick one, Tyler.
You know what? I don't care if it's coming up late in the season. The Beast and Beauty and the Beast.
That's a good answer.
This is a good answer. All right, Seth, this is the new one for you. So here's question number 5. What is your dream musical to see on Broadway? Now, it could be one that is currently on or that historically you wish you would have gotten the opportunity to see live. Yeah, I thought that was a good question.
I'm ready. I'll go first. Sideshow.
Mm,
I love Sideshow.
Has like 2 good songs.
I love it.
I don't have an answer.
Sorry, that was
It's
so
okay.
mean.
We could all have different opinions.
It's a safe space. It's a safe space. There's no judgment.
Oh gosh, I don't know.
There's a lot to pick from.
I guess Pippin. I don't know. I
Fair.
love Pippin.
Maybe Sweeney Todd. That's come back to Broadway.
That'd be cool.
I would like to see like original cast. Like if we're like saying we can go
Yeah.
back and like see an original cast, I think original cast of Chorus Line.
Ooh, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah. See, the German's coming out. That's not your accent though. You gotta switch
That's
to
the problem. That's the problem. I'm the only one with my accent. So everybody else around me is speaking in a German accent, and then I just start mimicking them.
Oh, that's funny.
I will say Taylor's great. Taylor's a really strong, like, committed actor, and like halfway through the read through, just went to French, and we had Ernst speaking in a French accent. I was like, listen, he's strong. He's just gonna. I'm not gonna pop that bubble yet. Tay, that's your first note. Is watch your.
Well, he
watch
came
your French.
downstairs after the read through and he goes, "Did I sound French?"
Oh.
Could be because I called him Lumiere, but
That's what he said. "Fucking Lumiere."
Oh,
That's fair.
sorry, not where I thought you were taking that question.
What did you think I was going to
I
say?
thought you were taking the question of what show would you like to see on the CTL stage.
Oh, that's a good question. Well, let's end with that one as the final question for today's episode of CTL Speaks. What show would you love to see on the CTL stage?
Well,
C or B? We'll just
fair. Well, my
Would
previous answer is being done this season, Shrek. So the new answer is going to have to be Something Rotten.
Ooh. Once with the bar, with the musicians as actors. Once.
Parade.
Rent.
Oh. That was a strong response there.
I love Red. I was just being a jerk.
Seth?
There you go. Oh, I don't. I mean, I'm not gonna say.
Well, you can say it.
Lame.
I'm good.
There's a whole committee for that. It's okay.
There is, and I sit firmly upon it. So no, I'm good.
All right. Well, from the cast of Cabaret and Seth, this has been another episode of CTL Speaks. Thank you so much, everyone, for watching. Be on the lookout on CTL's website as well as our Facebook page for all information about shows upcoming. Tickets for Cabaret officially go on sale tomorrow, September 12th. So make sure you go to our website. You can find the link to the tickets in the description of this episode. So feel free to check those out. Tickets go on sale tomorrow. Flex tickets are available. Make sure you're paying attention and on the lookout for all upcoming shows in our 46th season. This has been another episode of CTL Speaks. Have a good night, everybody.
Bye.